Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. You made it. Holy cow. How was your week? How many people, I'm going to, on a scale, I got 3 scales. I've got really good and not so much. So, how many people had a really, really good week? All right. How many people are kind of in the middle? Okay, and how many people are kind of like, one of those? And it's okay, because one of the things that we do here at Unity is we let you have your own experience. And we all go through the peaks and the valleys, don't we? I mean, I'm not going to show up here every single week and pretend that I'm not living a life and occasionally I don't have struggles, because I do. Because just like you, I'm walking around living day in and day out and doing the best I can to figure this thing out called life, and figure this thing out called my relationship with God, and figure out how do I take all this information that's coming to me in 4,000 different directions and try to process it in such a way that it actually can help me. Because that's what we believe here at Unity. We believe that actually that we've got something inside of us, and when we start paying attention to it, then all of a sudden we start receiving information and we start getting guided. Because what we believe is actually you've got a whole host of help and supporters on the other side of the veil, as the saying goes. And when you start actually entertaining that idea or that thought that, wow, maybe I am more than this suit, this body. Maybe I am everything that they've been saying about us, that we're actually a spirit and there's another part of us. And maybe, just maybe, if I start paying attention to that, then all of a sudden I start to get this experience of what it's like to contain what's inside of you now, or your divinity, or whatever you want to call it. And I don't care what kind of language you use, but what I will tell you is that the more you play with it, the more it starts to become, the more experiences you're going to have, and you're going to sit there and go, what? So how many people out there know that I'm in the process of writing a book? There's a handful of you. Yeah, and so I wrote the book, and we're going through some final edits, and I sent it to a handful of friends, and in my mind, don't ask me why, but I sat there and I said to myself, well, the next thing you need to do is figure out how to publish it. Now, as somebody that's never done something like that, I don't have a clue. I mean, clueless. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll get to that when the time is coming. And so 2 weeks ago on Friday, I get a call from my wife, and she says, hey, guess what? And I said, what? And she goes, I'm going to see Hillary McBride tomorrow. And Hillary McBride, by the way, for those of you that don't know, wrote a book called Holy Hurt. It's about religious trauma. It's an amazing book. And we're actually we meet twice a month here, and we have a group that talks about religious trauma. It is an incredibly powerful group, incredibly powerful. So I'm a huge fan, needless to say. So she says, well, look, this is a paid event, and I don't know if I can get you in or not. And I said, well, okay. And so she texts me back. She says, hey, guess what? I got you in. We're going to sneak you in, but I got you in. I'm like, this is really cool. So I go, and sure enough, Hillary McBride's there. But what I noticed is, and this is at Calvin College, this whole college is being taken over. And I'm like, what is going on here? And all of a sudden, the longer I was there, the more I realized they're having a 3-day conference. They do this every single year. And it's for faith-based authors. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. So then all of a sudden my wife goes, hey, by the way, after you're done, and they have these workshops. She says, hey, by the way, after Hillary McBride is done, there's a workshop about how to publish your book. Do you want to go to that? I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And so I go to this workshop, but on the way to that workshop, I look, and there's this great big hall with all these people in it. I walk into this hall, and the entire hall is filled with, guess what? Publishers. Now, wait a minute. One step better. I walk in, I start going up to these publishers, and I'm like, hey, I want you to publish my book. And they all looked at me, and they're like, oh, boy. This isn't how it works. And I said, well, how does it work? And they said, well, you got to work with an agent. I said, really? They said, yeah, you need to go look into finding an agent. So I'm like, okay, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So I go to the talk about how to publish your own book, and as I'm walking over there, there's a schedule for the next workshop. Guess what the next workshop is? How to work with an agent. How does all that happen? Yeah. But what I'm saying is that is available to each and every one of us, and it's not like there was a lot of heavy lifting, folks. It was just I put out into the universe, hey, this is something that I need some help with. This is something I need to figure out. And the universe is going, got it. Let us take care of it. You chill out, relax. We're going to go find out and help you figure out how to get this book published. And what I'm saying is that is the dance that we can all start doing. This isn't exclusive to Mike. It includes all of us when all of a sudden we understand that, yes, we really are doing this divine dance. And I don't care if this is your first time, and by the way, if it is, hi. In case you haven't noticed, we do things a little bit differently here. Or if you've been coming here for years and years and years, because there's always more. There's always greater expansion. There's always the next layer, as the saying goes. But it doesn't matter because we all have the same thing inside of us. And so hopefully that's why we come here together on Sunday mornings, is to help each other and remind each other about who and what we are, about what's inside of us, and about this thing that through traditional lenses, it's a lot of this. I want to have all of you have that experience that I just had, because you're worthy of it. And not only that, you're divine, and you're loved, and you're cared for, and all the things that we were told, maybe not so much, especially those of us that came from more of a traditional background. And then all of a sudden, you can start this dance or this thought of the thing that you believed when you were a little person and you first heard of this thing called God, and it just felt really good to you and amazing to you. And then maybe, just maybe, we kind of forgot. Like somewhere in our own life journey, we kind of stumbled, or we forgot, or we were told something else. And then all of a sudden, it's like, wow. Then we feel like we're lost and we're in this desert called life. And then life gets pretty hard, and the next thing you know, we completely forget about our own connection to the divine. And so that's what we get to do here. We get to come together as a group. I say this all the time. You know this. This isn't about Mike. It's about what we get to create together as a community. And we may be small, but we're mighty. And what I mean by that is we do believe, as the saying goes, where two or more are gathered. And so I always imagine when I think about us getting together, and before we do, even on a Sunday morning, we get together with a group of people, we say an opening prayer, and I always say, God, use me. Use me. But not only use me, use us. Let this place be an incredible, incredible place where people can feel loved, they can feel heard, they can feel like they matter. More importantly, so that they can remember who they are, which is a beautiful, beautiful reflection of the divine. You are so precious. You are so special. You are doing an amazing job.